Thank you for coming through the virtual door and being nice and prompt. We know it's not suitable for everybody, or might have to come to. Please, if you can have your cameras on, it'd be lovely to see some friendly faces. It is lunchtime. So please do have your lunches, your snacks, your drinks, or whatever, because we'll be doing that, and we'll make this as relaxed as possible. If in the chats you just want to introduce yourselves, if you can phonetically spell your name so I can get it right, maybe your organization role, what you're hoping to hear today, that'd be lovely. We're expecting a few hundred people attending today, so we've got 40 in the room so far that keep coming through. So let's see in the chat. Yeah, here we go. Oh, hi Anna. Hi everyone. Um, as I said, it'd be lovely if some people can have their cameras on, but we also appreciate not suitable for all. I can see Mark, and I can see I think it's two Izzies, but spelled differently. There you go. That's diversity in names. I think first Izzy I recall seeing at the event. Apologize if you've been to the event before, but lovely to see you both. Good to see you. So, head of Izzy, is it Kobe Mensah? Yeah, thank you. Head of Equity and Inclusion at Royal College of Arts. Lovely to see you. Brilliant, thank you. Got is it Hanisha from Cadent Gas? Hopefully, I'm predicting your name right. Apologies if I'm not. I can see Melita Hawksworth on screen. Is that correct? Got Diane Harris, Family Support Worker at Sandwell Family Hubs within Bernardo's. Lovely to see you. Thank you. Uh, Anisha. Um, I've got Rachel, NHS PCN manager, and they've got other Izzy's come forward as well. So the Izzy Martin, so from a service manager, Nottinghamshire County Council, and they've got Karen Heaven from Swindon Council, Borough Council, EDI leader, new REM member. I don't know what's further away, Nottingham or Swindon from London. Got Sophie Ford, inclusion and equity lead from Royal College of Nursing, Alison Shomade. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing that correct. The whole thing's moving quite quickly now. We've got Mitzi from Bernardo's, Samina from NHS. So all those people coming through the door now, it is lunchtime. Please have your lunch, your drinks, your soups, or whatever. It's nice and sunny today, actually, where we are. If you can have your cameras on, it's lovely to see some friendly faces. The great news is we've got the two important speakers here today. If having your camera on is not suitable or appropriate, which we understand, then that's fine. We appreciate you all turning up on time, and some of you nice and prompt. So we've got lots to pack in today, so you can get most out of it. We'll kick off, and I'll hand you over to co-founder of Race Equality Matters, Raj Sultani.
Thank you, Javed. A very big welcome to everybody. Welcome to our third Race Network Leaders and Future Leads event of 2024. I'm Raj Tulsiani, Chief Executive of Green Park, and alongside Javed of the Collaboratory, we're the co-founders of Race Equality Matters. Before we start, typical piece of housekeeping. To make the events more accessible when registering, we do ask you for any accessibility arrangements we can offer for support. We'll try our best to meet needs, but please bear in mind we've got limited resources. Closed captioning is enabled in the main session. There's also a link in the chat for captioning during the virtual breakout rooms, which we will share again later. The event is being recorded. The breakout sessions are not, and you'll be able to access it after the event. During this session, your sound will be auto-disabled to minimize distraction to others. So please share ideas and questions in the chat. We do our best to respond to these during the session. The chat tends to be really busy after the breakout session, so heads up in advance in case you need to switch the sound off. If you're utilizing accessibility tools, there could be a lot of pings. Over the next 75 minutes or so, we will be introducing not one, not two, but three collaborative discussion groups. Some polls. We'll hear from a couple of expert speakers, including Dawn from Sutton Council, sharing how their organisation has responded to the summer riots. I'd be very interested to hear that myself. And Vincent Egunle, recognised by the Black British Business Awards recently. He'll be talking about how we'll share being a race network leader and how that can be good for career development, and I assume some personal branding. You'll have an opportunity to discuss the themes that we'll incorporate into Race Equality Week 2025. Last year, that was 5,000 companies and around 5 million people took part. We'll also share a new piece of research to help create change that you can get involved in through your groups or lead in your organization. We do tend to finish on the dot, so we're aiming for 1:45 today. And we'll look to keep the session moving to enable everybody to interact as much as possible and maximize opportunities for shared learning and getting to know new people. As you may hopefully know, but for the new people here today, Race Equality Matters focuses on improving you with the tools, resources, and solutions and access to skills that have made an impact on tackling race equality in your organization. We are unashamedly intersectional, but always through the prism of race. So you won't hear anything about substituting race for social mobility in this call. We create concepts and solutions in collaborations with those who've lived experience of racial inequality in our community of change makers. We also tend to shine a light on other solutions that make an impact, regardless of where they come from, as long as their impact is evidenceable and not part of corporate greenwashing. For those who are new here today, just to briefly introduce our solutions, it's not micro, tackling microaggressions and micro-incivilities at work. Many of you will be aware of that. The 5-day challenge, tea break, which helps open up a structured conversation about race-related issues that matter to your colleagues. The Big Promise tool, which is about turning words into accountable actions. My Name Is, which focuses on the importance of pronouncing each other's names correctly and using phonetic spellings to support this, which I believe got 1.75 billion hits in its first month. So well done to Javed, Davina, Anna, and everybody else involved in that. And finally, Safe Space, that enables some brave conversations, potentially uncomfortable business discussions, and more importantly, is action-focused, structured in a way that isn't career limiting. We all know how difficult it can be to raise these issues in certain corporate environments. Crucially, and personally, I'd like to say all of our solutions focus on making significant impact. As you can see from the screen, we are people of lived experience who work with people of lived experience who are trying to create corporate advantages through organizations actually doing what the bloody hell they say they're going to do. So we're here to help. Not everyone listens, but we're here to help. We provide many of these solutions and resources for free. They're all available on the website. And there's also, for those of you who have got budget, ways we can help in other ways, particularly around facilitation, coaching, helping increase representation at senior level, etc. But these how to do it right guides and events are, if you like, the backbone of what we do. We've provided a link in the chat, and you can find all the information and solutions that are free from the website. We also provide additional resources and workshops to members and partners. So all of this wouldn't be possible without the support of our fantastic and invaluable partners. Big thank you to Green Park, I would say that, and Lloyds of London, who power Race Equality Week and financially underpin what Race Equality Matters do. Along with the Collaboratory and our lifetime partner, British Telecom. We've also received support and partnership from Auto Trader, HS2, AMI, Edelman, Network Rail, and CMS. We are a community interest company. We don't work for profit. And like everybody in this environment, we need further funding to keep going. It has been a real struggle, but we've never let that get in the way of making a real impact and supporting people who are real. We're not here to amplify people's personal or corporate aspirations if they're not willing to back it up with actions. So one way you can help us is becoming a funding or commercial partner or getting your organization to become a member. We would love to hear from you. Do get in touch with the team if you can. To help us, for those of you who have that budget, we now offer Race Equality Matters expertise, where we actually come and support you in your organization and help your work to facilitate our solutions internally. This is based on your feedback, which is like we kind of did it, but it kind of didn't land in. We needed someone to be a bit more challenging or to facilitate the conversation in a different way and create some independence in the room. So we now do that. We're kind of pretty much booked between now and November. But if you want to pre-book or talk about the service for the future, please do get in touch and we can try and get some of those early months in 2025 or the end of the year filled. Alternatively, you can help us to help you via a REM membership program. You and your organization would be joining 90 other member organizations. That's 90 others who have joined this year. Membership provides additional support through exclusive access to newly developed REM membership hub and includes things like early access to Race Equality Week participant pack and 5-day challenges, a license to use the REM member network logo, exclusive networking events, workshops for all of your employees, insights and ideas for other paid solution resources that are free to members, invite to co-create new solutions, free credits for our job board, and a few more to come. The assets are worth £5,000. Javid is selling them for £4.99 plus VAT. It's a deal. It's a steal. On we go. And there's a small discount for not-for-profits as well. So we're hoping to hold this price for now, but it's telling me it's going to go up soon. I don't think it's going to go up this week, but you never know. And if you're interested in joining, look, it would just be great to have some more logos there. I know there's lots of pressure on organizations financially at the moment, but if they think this is important, I don't think £500 is too much to pay. So please say if you are interested in the last poll today, and we'll ask then if people want to call or are interested in learning more about membership. So hard sell over, or you can email Anna directly. Her email is now will be in the chat soon, and we look forward to joining some of you and some of your organisations in our membership going forward. You can, as an individual, also kindly support what we're trying to do by donating via this QR code or the link in the chat. No matter how little it is, please do, if you feel that you're getting value from this, help us to make it sustainable for all the people who are joining as individuals and who are getting real support in their organisations. So before we start the session, we tend to do an poll just so everybody on the call understands state of the nation, who's in the room, etc., etc. So Sam, please do launch the poll, and I will comment on the results when we're kind of 60-ish% completed.
That's fantastic. All thanks tons. So we've got over 200 of you have contributed to this. So in the room, we have 30% are allies, and so 38% are allies, and 60% are ethnic diverse or appropriate equivalents. So a very good mix here. The roles or positions in organizations. So 19% are senior leaders, 8% HR, 29% D&I, and we have 18% Race Network members and 24% Race Network leads, which is fantastic. And a quarter of you, 25%, are other outside that. So again, it's really important that we share the load with each other and learn collectively. Question 3. Have you been to a previous Race Network lead event before? So 21% of you, yes, and 27% more than once. But 48% of you are new, which is fantastic. So half of you here are new today. So hopefully you get something out of it. I'm sure you will with the fantastic speakers we've got. Has your organization done anything that's made a noticeable impact on tackling race inequality? So 57% of you saying yes. So we'd love to hear from you because we want to share what is working. 18% say no and 25% say not sure. So it'd be good to know why you're saying not sure. Question 5. How do you think your organisation responded to the UK riots? And we got Dawn talking about how their organisation did later. So collectively here today, 31% satisfactory and 24% say positively supported. So that's only a quarter thought it was positive and supported. And then 33% not very well, and 6% didn't respond. So that's 40% not very well and did not respond, and some of you not sure. So again, this is why we've got the topic today, because it's such an issue that wasn't handled well by organisations. Question 6. Which of the following did your organisation do in response to the UK riots? So 33%, so that's 1 in 3, a quick response. 64% had a senior leader communication, which is good, but that still leaves 36% where they didn't sort of step up or sort of get involved or show support. Listening circles or tea break was 28%. Allowing people working from home was 43%. I wonder if that was additional or this is people that normally work from home. And then 46% saying checking in on colleagues. So that means that majority, more than 50%, were not checking in colleagues. And 3% paid time, allow staff to be paid but take time off. Okay. Question 7. Does your race network collaborate with other employee resource groups to drive change? So 8% of you don't have a network, 11% saying no, 2% saying once, occasionally 40%, and regularly 31%. So that's 1 in 3 are regularly collaborating with other networks. Do you feel your race network has influence in your organization? This is really important to us. We want you and what your network does to have an impact and be valued. So a good amount or a great deal is 30%. And then a further 25% little, and then 22% not enough. So I said 30% a good deal, or so a good amount or a great deal. So that's not enough, really. How is your race network supported? So again, for many, you take this burden on your own. So 23% you get funding. It'd be good to know if that's significant funding to help you really make a difference, or just to cover light snacks and refreshments. Time allowance to work on it, which is good. So that's 37%. And then senior sponsorship support, 42%, which again is good. But why isn't there senior sponsorship for all of your organisations? Question 10. How do you feel your race network is valued in the organisation? So ignoring those that don't have a network. So utilized positively as a business asset is 32%, so 1 in 3. And we want, as I said earlier, for the networks to be seen as a business asset and a core part of the organization. Given a voice in key decision making, so 27%, so roughly 1 in 4. And they're not really valued, 24%. Question 11. Do you think being a race network leader will help in personal and career development? And we've got the wonderful Vincent later explaining how it's helped him. So 7% say not at all, and 17% yes, in a small way. Then 38% say it will have an impact, and 18% a great deal. We want to make the role of a race network leader to be key in helping develop people's career. So again, we'll be looking at this and talking amongst ourselves later. So thank you all for that contribution. So on to the next part. Very much, thank you. And thank you everyone participating in that. So it gives us a sense, and we share these results with you later. So now on to the kind of, I'll introduce you to our first speaker in a sec. And we appreciate sometimes discussions and topics can be upsetting, especially when we talk about the riots. And for some, so please take a photo or a screenshot of this. You should have had it in an email before as well. So these are some external support resources you might want to access if you need it. So, and share with colleagues, etc. We'd like to acknowledge the impact the far rights had over the summer. We know the impact, fear, and trauma it has caused many here today. It's the feedback we've been having, as well as colleagues, friends, and families. Next slide, please. It affected all our communities, and the Muslim community in particular. So Poland Group Muslim Census surveyed 1,500 plus Muslims to see how it had impacted on the community. Of the respondents, 92% said that they now felt much less safe. And their research also found that 1 in 6 said they had personally experienced Islamophobic or race incident in the week of the violence or of the riots. It's also heartbreaking to sort of watch and hear what may feel like an erosion of all the hard work many of you have been doing, put into your communities and your organizations to make the UK and our workplaces better, safer, and more inclusive. The importance of dialogue, discussion, interaction, open conversations has never been as important as it is today. And this session today will focus on that. We know some organizations were very supportive to colleagues, but many of you said felt your organizations didn't appreciate the impact the riots had on you or got the support kindness you needed. So we thought we'd create the opportunity for you all to discuss this. Before we do, we're delighted to be joined by Dawn Matthews from the Sutton Council and Kingston, a fantastic silver trailblazers who will share with us Sutton's response to the riots, what they did, and the impact it had on colleagues. Thank you for joining us, Dawn. If you can please unmute yourself. Dawn heads up the core HR service shared between Royal Borough of Kingston and London Borough of Sutton. She's responsible for ensuring the efficient and cost-effective provision of core HR services to a range of clients across Southwest London. So she's very much people focused. So it'd be wonderful to hear from her. So Dawn, when we spoke to you before today's event, you told us that council responded particularly well off the back of the riots. So what did they do that you thought was good?
Great, thank you, Javed. In Sutton, our chief executive was away when the race riots took place, but a member of the senior leadership team did a video. So it was our executive director of public health. He did a video that went out to all staff and was put on our intranet. And basically, it was sent out via our weekly newsletter. The video basically was saying to staff, the slogan that was used, was "There's no place for hate." So it was a very heartfelt message, really came from the heart. On her return, our chief executive hosted a live stream as well. And that was a panel of individuals from our multi-ethnic and allies staff network. So she shared her disappointment at what had taken place. She made that very, very clear. And the panel members had an opportunity to speak candidly about how the riots affected them. And it was actually really, really powerful. And the other thing that we did at Sutton was our intranet. There was an intranet story acknowledging how staff may be feeling at that time and the support that, was available for staff and managers.
Good thing. Sounds like more than a tick box and more than just a black square comment. So very thinking. How do you think it made your colleagues that were affected feel?
To be honest with you, anecdotal feedback especially from the live stream, staff said they felt proud to work for Sutton. They felt really reassured by Sutton's response. They felt that it was genuine, it was really heartfelt. There was a sense that, we have genuine allies in the organisation, and senior management in particular are really, really concerned about what staff had experienced. They also appreciated the authentic video message from our executive director of public health, quoting, "It helps me to know how to be a better ally" as well. So another comment that was made was that they felt enveloped with empathy and care working at Sutton, and just really proud to be a part of a council that genuinely cares and empathises.
Fantastic, thank you. What do you think the effects are of an organisation not responding well to the riots?
I think that it kind of sends a subliminal message of not caring. Also, I think staff feel that the organisation isn't supportive, can feel quite alone and quite isolated, and nobody ever wants to feel that way. I also think that it leaves staff feeling that they have to navigate their feelings and the effects of such an horrible event like all alone. In some ways, you're forced to bottle up your emotions. It could make you question the validity of how you're feeling. Like, is it in my head? Should I be feeling like this? And also, I think that it raises questions about an organisation's true commitment to race equality matters. Is it just lip service? Most organisations have an EDI strategy, etc. But is that one-dimensional? Are organisations looking at that through a very narrow lens? And I think, just to kind of finish, there's an avoidance piece. So senior leaders potentially keeping their heads below the parapet in the hope that it will pass, and sort of trying to avoid having those uncomfortable conversations by not calling out the behaviour for what it actually is.
Thank you. So clearly, it's speed of action, not put their heads above the parapet, and then 360 conversations to understand. I think it's a really good litmus test from the last 4 years where a lot of so-called activity or actions happen in an organization. It's a chance to do organizations understand what their colleagues really need and feel. And I think it was a really good test. So thank you for sharing that. I think and again we know that Dawn has done some other fantastic work. Hence they are silver trailblazers. So go onto our website to find out more about what it's just one thing. I think it's just all their work they've done to date has enabled us to happen. Just to let you know, they're a silver trailblazer before this stuff now. So I just think it shows the progress they've made. So thank you so much, Dawn. So the purpose of our events is to make us, sort of take stock, reflect, but also learn from each other. So what we're now going to ask you to do is go into little breakout sessions. And you'll have about 7 minutes. And the question to discuss amongst yourselves is, what did your organization do in response to the UK riots? Or what would you have liked to have seen done? Because we appreciate not all done it. So this is a chance to learn and hear from each other and share things. We appreciate some of you may not have anything to say because nothing happened. But if you go into the groups, we appreciate some people don't want to go into the breakout groups or not suitable. That's fine. Stay on this side and maybe put your thoughts in the chat. But if as many as you can go into these groups, that's where we learn from each other. Speakers Vincent Dawn may join your group, and so will I. Or team. We're not there to chair. So when you go to the groups, don't introduce yourselves. That'll take you 7 minutes you've got. But just kick it off, and then just be kind to each other. Make sure everyone's got a say on it. But it'd be wonderful to hear what the feedback you've got. So the question is, what did your organisation do in response to the UK rights to support staff, or what would you like to have seen done? So see you in about 7 minutes. Thank you. Sorry about that. Really rich and interesting in our group, and I guess a lot of people sharing your learnings and what could have been done more. What we'd love to do now, if you can all just go into the chat and write what your organization did that was good, or what would you like to have seen done. What we will do is we will collate all this and share it with you all. It will all be anonymous, so you'll get this whole wonderful list, and we'll categorize and everything. But it'll give you all a little blueprint or whatever for future when things happen and we need to support staff. What do we need to do? And I've seen in the chat some people saying, some fantastic stuff that Dawn and Sutton did. That that's just part of it. So if you can all just share in the chat, the more you can contribute, the more we'll all have. We've got 250 plus people on the call. So imagine if you all gave one idea, that's 250 ideas we can share with you. What we'll also highlight is the most common things people said as well. So thank you for that. And thank you, Dawn, for kicking us off there. Again, don't worry about typos, spellings, bullet points. It doesn't matter. We will tidy it up. I've always got a team tidying up my writing, so they're ready for it. Sam, if we could have the next slide, please, while people finish that off, that'd be great. Just to let you know, so share a bit of hope, because it's quite depressing, and obviously really impactful what's happened. So from a recent poll from YouGov, they said 85% of Britons oppose the unrest of the protest, just 7% saying they support the violence, but 85% oppose it. So that's the majority. Only 1 in 8, 12%, feel the rioters are representative of the views of most Britons. So again, only 1 in 8 feel they're representative. Next slide, please. 76% they do not represent the majority of the public. So again, it's just saying it's not the beliefs most people personally have. And 6 in 10 say go as far as to believing the rioters are racist. So it is acknowledged that it was a racist act, etc. And that. So I think it's horrible, and this is where we talk about allies need to become active allies and support it. And I think Sutton shared how it was nice to know the allies were there for them. So and I said all these slides and all this data we can share with you, can use in your organization and as you see fit. So thank you. We've got over 100 ideas or thoughts from yourselves, which is brilliant in the chat. So thank you for that. Next slide, please, Sam. So this leads us on to the next part where we want your input into the theme for Race Equality Week 2025. Race Equality Week is the 3rd until the 9th of February in 2025. And it's funded by Green Park and Lloyd's of London. It's an annual UK-wide movement uniting hundreds of thousands of organisations to address the barriers and to race inequality in the workplace. As Raj mentioned, we last year engaged 5,500 organisations with reaching 4 to 5 million employees. Next slide. So the themes in previous years have been, let's not go back to normal. And that's when we came out of COVID, I'm going to say a clever strapline. 2022 was action, not just words. 2023, it's everyone's business. And 2024, listen, act, change. Speaking with so many of you and your ongoing feedback, it's clear we need to keep the focus on more organizational and individual action, taking action. And that's why the theme for Race Equality Week now, if you're in a room, you'd be hearing a drum roll. So you could bang your tables, bang your chest, drum roll. So the theme we're looking at for 2025, next slide, please, is challenge it, change it. So we'd just like to show an example of when this sort of happened. If we can play the video.
We decided we wanted to open our doors and open our arms and just try and reach out to them as humans after things started to deteriorate, after we saw the tragedy of the stabbing in Southport. Our mosque in Liverpool, which is Britain's first mosque, was also threatened with protests. As we'd just seen on the TV, the violence against the mosque in Southport. And so people started to be scared. At 7 o'clock, the counter protest started to arrive, about 400 to 500 people. And then gradually the crowd on the other side of the road started to slowly grow. At its peak, there were about 50 people, and we decided to deal with those people who came to protest against us in a way which we hoped could open hearts and minds. We wanted to cook food for them. We wanted to give them drinks. For the first 3 hours of the protest, it wasn't deemed safe enough to cross over the road and go into their crowd and speak with them to give this peace gesture. After 10 p.m, we got the food ready, which was cooked in the mosque kitchen. We walked over the road. The first ones who I approached, they acted as if I was invisible and they couldn't see me. But I continued smiling. I continued being friendly. And then I went on to the next group until finally we broke through to somebody's heart and he accepted the food, and then everybody started taking the food, and then we started discussing things with them, and we had some really genuine interactions. I think maybe 4 or 5 people, I asked them, what is it again exactly that you're protesting against? And nobody really had a clear answer for it. And it just goes to show how frustrated, how misguided a lot of people are. There was this photo of me which went viral of shaking hands with one of the protesters. He told me his personal story and the worries what he had, and we finished by exchanging details, shaking hands and hugging, and it was just very inspiring. So the reason it's so important to talk right now is because the other option is don't talk and let the ignorance, hatred, misunderstanding to remain and fester and grow. It's about having the same ground, sharing the same ground, and realizing that you're not too dissimilar from each other when it really comes to the crunch. I'm optimistic that there are more positive results to come. That there are good times ahead.
Thank you. In the sense as he was challenging it and changing it, and definitely created some change in as one person doing it, and we appreciate the sensitivity of what he's doing. And I'm going to say that's quite exceptional. But the thinking behind the theme is nothing will change if we let things continue as they are. Nothing will change if we don't question. Nothing will change if we wait for someone else to do it. And nothing will change if we don't make it everyone's business. That's why we all need to challenge to create the change we want to see and indeed feel. Next slide, please. So what action can we take? So challenge ourselves, challenge what we hear, challenge what we think and assume, challenge what we say, and also challenge others' behavior. But these are just little things. You just pick on one little thing you could do there. Next slide, please. And challenge our organization's processes and culture. Organizations need to challenge themselves. And the exercise we've just done now is actually to think how would we deal with these things in the future. So again, challenge the recruitment and promotions process, challenge who gets what opportunities, challenge what is unfair, challenge microaggressions, and challenge when we get people's names wrong. So these are little things that an organization can do that will change its culture. Next slide, please. So we have some resources that can support this. Challenge microaggressions, challenge name, the 5-day challenge, a new one coming out now, and again, Safe Space and Tea Break will all help you on that, but you can do your own things as well. So that's just to set the scene. So what now we'd like you to do is go into a breakout session and share how do you think the theme, challenge it, change it, will help your focus on tackling race inequality, and how do you think you could use it in your organization? So how do you think challenge it, change it can help you in the work you're doing? and how do you think you could use it in your organization? So it's a very open question. I appreciate you've just heard it now, but if you can just go into your breakouts and share thoughts, and there's no right or so there's no wrong answers in it. It's just sharing it, and it's meant to be quite open to interpretation. Yeah, if we all do one little thing, it will make a difference. So we'll give you about 5 or 6 minutes into the breakout session. Again, if you want to stay here, please stay here, and add to the chat. Okay, but the more that go into the breakouts, the better. Thank you. See you in about 5 or 6 minutes. I do apologize. Appreciate in the group I was in, someone was in full throw. I think it was Euphrasia. So I think so I didn't quite get your full name there. Just to say, what we're going to do is if you could just put in the chat your thoughts about what, again, answering the question, how do you think the theme change will help you focus on tackling race inequality, or what could your organization do? Again, we'll capture this and share it. So some of you may not know what to do now. Some of you got some great ideas. So we'll if you could just put that in the chat, and again, we'll collate it and share it, and then I'll make a couple more comments on it before we move on to Vincent. Give it 30 more seconds. And as I said, like, we'll collate this and share it anonymously. Don't worry about typos, put it in bullets. While that comes in, what we've got to do, we've got a quick poll, just one poll question. So if Sam can release that, and if everyone just answer it, just go for your immediate response, please. Thank you. So, having explained the thinking behind Challenge It, Change It, do you think the theme Challenge It, Change It is a good theme for Race Equality Week 2025? So 51% of you saying it's strong and 32% saying it's good. So that's 83% of you in favour of it. 1% you say not at all, and then 11% saying it's okay. So thank you for the feedback on that. One thing we acknowledge, and we've got plenty of time, is we do know, the word challenge, can sound aggressive, and for some people might, it comes with risks. But what we would want to try and do is work. So challenge can be done different ways. Challenge can be done in a gentle, questioning way. So it's something we'll work on. So we are acknowledging, the way it can be interpreted could be seen as aggressive or risky, but we want to work with you and develop that. Okay. And a lot of it is just challenge ourselves. Again, if you go to the allies, look, share the 5-day challenge. If they challenge themselves or question themselves, maybe they can change a tiny bit. Okay. And we're really asking allies to often be the ones to step up. Okay. So thank you all for sharing that, and we'll keep this communication going. Thank you. Okay. Now on to thrilled to have Vincent Egunle with us today as an award-winning keynote speaker and the #1 Black British Business Award Rising Star. So we're delighted to have him sharing his experience and insights on being a race network leader and how it has had a significant impact on his career. I see I'm muted, Vincent. Thank you. Vince is a passionate advocate for inclusivity and fairness in the workplace, and being recognized widely by peers as a future leader and as a multi-award winning investment banker. In his previous role, when the world's largest accounting firm, Grant Thornton, he co-founded the first UK-wide ethnicity network aimed at reducing the ethnicity pay gap, which needs to be mandatory, and increasing representation at the firm's top level. So thank you. This network's creation inspired numerous further internal diversity networks with over 600 members. And the ethnicity network is actually the largest network in the firm. So think about that. He's an accomplished speaker reaching 1.3 million views online. So where are the other million today, Vincent? So fantastic to have him here. So when we just spoke to you, how did being a race network leader help develop your career?
So I think it's important to recognize that being a race network leader is difficult, and in many respects, it doesn't help to develop your career. People might look at you as someone who isn't focused on the job. People might look at you differently because of some of the opportunities that you may get. So what I try to focus on is how being a network leader develops me as a person. And by being and by evolving as a person, my career naturally evolved with it. And I think the three things that being a network leader did for me as a person most was the first was it gave me experience. And what I mean by experience is it gave me the opportunity to mess up pretty visibly a number of times and still find the courage to move forward. And that was important, and it's something that I've taken into my career. It gave me the confidence that I could make good decisions and deliver at a high level. That's something that I think I always struggled with, having not seen many individuals like me at the top level and having to deal with the pressure of thinking, not only do I need to be good, I need to be the best, or I need to be the first. And being a network leader meant I had to make a number of decisions, and those decisions, some went badly, but some didn't. And it meant I developed my confidence that I can compete at the highest level. And I think the last way in which being a network leader developed me was it developed my network, but the way in which I developed my network was because it meant that when I was going out and I was speaking to people and I was trying to meet and I was trying to meet new individuals, being a network leader meant that I had something to offer. I could offer people to collaborate, I could offer people to join. And for me, a cardinal rule was always when meeting other people, I always try to give something before I ask for something. And being a network leader enabled me to have something to give.
Brilliant, thank you. And we have heard early on where networks, race networks are seen as a business asset. So
Mhm.
obviously whoever's leading that, and I think that the other great thing is I think it's really important, it's difficult, is actually being allowed to make mistakes or failure.
Mhm.
You know, not being written off. So I think yeah, and that's how we learn. You know, I'm doing it all the time. So one day I'll be a master at something. So thank you for that. So what do you think's worked particularly well in your race network leads?
What worked particularly well for the ethnicity network was, I think early on, we got fantastic advice and we
Mhm.
got that advice from previous network leads. And one of the key messages that I got was to, from early on, plan out what amazing looks like and then try to get there. And because of that, we had clear steps in place, which meant that we were able to move, which meant that we mapped out the network life cycle and
Mhm.
understood how to move along those building blocks. And I
Mhm.
think at the start of a network's life cycle, you're more of a pressure group and you're
Mhm.
trying to put decisions onto the agenda that perhaps had never been spoken about at a high level within your company before. But what's important is to find a way to move from being a pressure group to an embedded strategic partner of the company, which means that you evolve from just trying to put decisions onto the agenda to agenda decisions requiring your input. And that's how I feel that you have real influence, and influence is how I think we can bring about change.
I love that line. I'm going to start using it. Not a target or a goal. It's a, what does amazing look like? I think that's a fantastic thing. And then yeah, I would work towards that. So you got me on board, Vincent. Thank you for sharing that. So finally, to what advice would you give current race network leaders and hopefully future race network leaders?
What happens is, I think the piece of advice that I give to race network leaders is a piece that I wish that I had when I started. When you are a race network leader, you are immediately thrust into a position that can often be misaligned with your day job. I'd been working in the corporate world for 6 months before I started Grant Thornton's Ethnicity Network. And very quickly, I was in the room with the C-suite and the CEO and the senior leaders discussing what do I think about the direction of our firm. And the piece of advice that I wish that I had at the time was to act like I've been here before. The reason why I say that is because these people are asking you for your input because they believe that you have something to offer. So if they believe that you have something to offer, you should believe in yourself that you also have something to offer and you have something to contribute. So acting like you've been there before in the sense that it's okay to get up there and to make mistakes, and it's okay to sometimes feel like you've been caught in the headlights, and it's okay to sometimes feel that you're not good enough. What is important is that when you do get into that room and when you do have an opportunity to make a difference, ensure that you can be the difference by believing in yourself and acting like you've been there before.
Brilliant. Thanks, Mr. Thanks for your passionate, your honesty, and I think just seeing the chat here and Dawn's chat as well. You know, people really sort of resonating with what you're saying and inspiring. So thank you, tons. So we're going to go into a final breakout session for everybody, where we'd like you to basically, how do you think being a race network leader can have a positive impact on your career? So being a race network leader can have a positive impact on your career. I've slightly overrunning on some of my bits. So if we can have 5 minutes for this, that'd be fantastic. So if you can go into your groups, that'd be brilliant. If you stay on this side of the fence, please just add it to the chat. But please go into the groups and share your thoughts. So how being a race network leader can have a positive impact on your career. Hi, welcome back, everyone. Thanks for that. Really interesting in my group. So again, if you could just throw in the chat how being a race leader can have a positive impact on your career, whether you've experienced it or thoughts. Again, we'll collate this and share it with yourselves. We really want to turn race networks into a kind of a really a valued role to play. have power and influence in your organization, but also help you. You wanted to see when someone looks at a CV, say, well, oh, you ran a race network, where it becomes a real, gold standard because we know how powerful and important they could be. I said, don't worry about typos, spellings, bullet point it. We'll put this, we'll collate all this in a very lovely, pretty document called our Insights and Ideas, which you will all have access to. Okay, brilliant. So we in a sec, we'll do our final poll, and then we want to share exciting piece of research that you can get involved in, and then then we'll look to wrap up. Really important you fill in this final poll now because it lets us know what's working, how we can help you more, and also I think like Raj said at the end, if you want to find out more about membership, there's an opportunity to let us know there. So, and we'll do a photo for those that can, because I'm running out of time. So for those that can stay behind, we just do a quick group photo that we can just use to promote today's event to say thank you. So if we can launch the poll, Sam, thank you. That's fantastic. So thank you for your all contributing to this. So it's fantastic to see that 96% of you would recommend today's event to others. So again, a big, huge thank you to Dawn and Vincent for their fantastic insights shared with you. And 4% of you not sure, would be good to know how we could get you into the yes bracket. Question 2, did you learn anything new today? And this is really important to us because we're all tired of going to places and just hearing the same thing and not learning anything. So 93% of you said you learned something new today, which is fantastic. And that's again to Vincent and Dawn, but also you all sharing your own thoughts and observations and suggestions and expertise in the wonderful breakout sessions. Question 3, did you learn and hear things you wouldn't normally have access to? And again, 80% of you saying yes, which again is fantastic. Did you hear or learn anything that you will use? So 79% saying yes, and a further 10% saying you would if you had authority. So that's 89% of you learned something that you will look to use. So thank you all for sharing your wonderful expertise and suggestions and advice. Question 5, do you think the race network lead events help? So 25% saying your career progression, 60% grow your networking connections, but 85% say gather ideas to benefit your organization. So we need to share this with your leaders and those that support and fund and give you the time that the organization is going to benefit from this. And then a further 59% saying your personal development, which is again great. Question 6, do you think these race network lead events help? And 63% it does provide hope, which is really important when we're having these difficult times, especially with the recent riots, which is very unsettling and scary for many of us. And then 88% it provides inspiration. Again, we need that. Question 7, please indicate which may be of interest. So 79% insights and ideas to tackle key race themes. 63% mini videos and expert speakers, 36% input into future race equality matters solutions and insights, and then 26% if you're applying to be a trailblazer. So we will get in touch with you about all these, and most of it is available once you become a race equality organisation member. Question 8, would your organisation like to join the race equality membership? So 14% of you saying yes. And then 61% not sure. So again, we'll reach out to you, or if you want to find out more, do get in touch. And then 18% of you are already members, which is fantastic. And that's growing every day. We're nearly up to 100. Would you pay for mentor support to help deliver race equality meta solution? 17%. In your personal development, it's 23%. And I appreciate many of you wouldn't pay for mentor support, but it's good to know how we may be able to support you going forward. And then 29% saying other, which might be organizations funding this support. Question 10, would your organization have a budget to access Race Equality Mentors expert helpline to support your race network? So 11% saying yes, 29% no, and then 60% not sure. Again, it's something people are asking, how can Race Equality Mentors provide you more support? Because you value the expertise we can bring. And it's something we will look and build with you in the future. So thank you all for completing that. It helps us know what's working, what you need in the future, and how we can help you make a greater difference. Thank you.
Okay, so we're launching a partnership with Green Park, Race Equality Matters, and Change the Race Ratio. The idea is a big reality check survey. So the survey aims to highlight the gap between how our communities feel about their working environment and how leadership perceive that they feel. So by gathering extensive feedback, this research will provide clear data on the issue, and an issue that, quite frankly, a lot of people don't want to talk about. So it's important because it will be the first of its kind, and because without understanding and quantifying these differences, progresses will continue to be slow, and the investment into tackling inequality will be misdirected. We see lots of organizations with the will to do something, but without the skills to make it actually deliver real benefits and changes in behaviors and lived experiences. So to make this possible, we need some input both from you as a part of our Race Equality Matters community and business leaders. So once we have the findings, we'll share them initially with those that have contributed or who have offered some recommendations to help improve organizations. And we need your help to complete this short survey. This will be your chance to have a say in providing valuable insights into driving fastest change by focusing people on committing one or two things, recommended actions with measurable progresses reported per year across systems, not just in organizations. In organizations, people can always make excuses. Across systems, no leaders want to be last on league tables. So it is really important. It has been thought out quite deeply. So we'd love to get your initial thoughts on it. Sam, if we could launch a quick poll, please.
It's just 2 questions, this poll. So
just 2 questions. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Do you see any value in this research? You better see some value in it. And then would you be happy to complete the survey? So I'll get on with that. And then Sam, we can revisit that later on.
So thank you for sharing your thoughts on the big reality research we want to do. So do you see value in the research? So fantastic, 94% saying yes. So that's good to know. And 6% not sure, but no one's saying there's no value in it. And then would you be happy to complete the survey and be part of the research? So 84% of you saying yes, with 4% of you saying no as not ethnically diverse, and that's fair and fine. And 12% not sure. So again, we'll reach out to you to see if you'd like to get involved, because we need at least 500 of you contributing to this. And as I said, we're going to get the senior leaders of other organizations as well to find the gap.
So we've got some upcoming events that we want to make you aware of. 25th of September, we have Get Ready for Race Equality Week, where we'll launch our new 5-day challenge. That'll be ready for February 2025, but available much sooner for REM members, so benefit of membership there. You will have a chance to share your thoughts and plans for Race Equality Week 2025, and it's a chance to get a real head start and get lots of new ideas, so please do sign up. We also have our next intersectional event, which is in a series of intersectional events we've got. This is Race and Neurodiversity, sponsored by the wonderful law firm CMS. Taking place on the 4th of October, 12:30 to 1:45, which looks closely at the double discrimination of being ethnically diverse and having a neurodiversity and how this can best be addressed. It's free for members. If you're not a member, you'll have an opportunity to buy a ticket. We will have expert speakers on autism, dyslexia, and ADHD, who will be sharing the impact of neurodivergence and the support that organizations need to offer to get the best out of neurodiverse colleagues. At the start of October, we have Green Park's annual global conference aimed at senior leaders. There'll be more information to come on that, either on Race Equality Networks or on the Green Park website. Next slide. For those organizations that are driving impactful change in race equality, please do have a look at our Trailblazer accreditation. Do also take advantage of our job board to engage with a more diverse talent pool. And a big thank you to our partners who make all of this possible. and of course to our speakers today, Vincent and Dawn. Thank you ever so much. If you can, please do donate or get in touch to help us continue our work, either by supporting us, introducing your organisation as a member, or utilising us for some paid support. Thank you all for joining us today. I'm delighted to say that 94% of you think there's value in the research that we're doing with Green Park and the change of race ratio. 6% of you are not sure, so I'll take that as a personal challenge to do something that creates more clear benefits. And 84% of you would be happy to complete the survey. So really appreciate that, because it's a great kickstart. Over 250 people in the poll in the meeting today. So thank you for joining us. Please do go onto our website to find resources you can access to support you and your organisation. There are even more if you sign up as a corporate member. Do get in touch if you'd like us to run one of our solutions in your organisation. Have a great rest of the week. It's my birthday, so please take my birthday wishes and have fun in doing what you're doing. Be kind, pay it forward to just one person, and that would make the rest of the week better for me and hopefully better for somebody else as well. Thank you for being generous with your time. We appreciate your support.